Allen Iverson, better known as AI or The Answer, is one of the greatest and most influential players to ever play in the NBA. Standing at 6'1", his best year was in the 2000 to 2001 season, where he averaged 31.1 points, 4.6 assists, 4 rebounds, 2.5 steals, while shooting 45% from the field, 44% from three, and 81% from the free throw line. Allen Iverson played 14 seasons in the NBA, where he played for 4 teams: Philly, Denver, Detroit, and Memphis, and played in Europe for 1 season as well. Iverson was an 11-time All-Star and won the All-Star MVP award in the 2001 season, where he led the East to a 21-point comeback win against the West. To this day, it's still the most exciting All-Star game in NBA history. He won the award again back in the 2005 All-Star game at Denver. He won the league MVP in 2001, where he led an underdog Sixers team against the mighty LA Lakers led by Shaq and Kobe. We miss you, Mamba. Although they lost in 5 games, the most iconic Allen Iverson highlight was stepping over Ty Lue in round 1. Today, we are going to talk about what NBA legends and players said about how special prime Allen Iverson was. We are going to go back in time and relive it. All you new fans of the NBA, pay attention, because before all the fantastic scoring point guards right now, Iverson, pound for pound, was one of the first to elevate the point guard position. But before that, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and smash that notification bell to get updates on my latest NBA content. Make sure to watch until the end and find out the player that retired because of AI. Let's get to that list. Number 1. Michael Jordan. Most of the time, his airness doesn't get impressed with a player. When he does, though, you can only hear good things from him. MJ was playing for the Washington Wizards in this interview, and the late Stuart Scott asked him about what he thought about Iverson. Image of the NBA player now, is it closer to the Michael Jordan of the NBA, or is it closer to the Allen Iverson of the NBA? Scott asked. Well, I mean, that's a tough question for me to answer. A tough question to compare myself to him. You're talking about a different era and a long run of success with mature stars. You got young players coming in a lot earlier than anybody has anticipated. It's not quite developed as it once was. Because of that, we have to be very understanding, and you know where in the United States of America, everybody has freedom of expression. I don't think we should judge Allen for the way that he wants to express himself. From the tone of Jordan, you can tell he has nothing but admiration and respect for him. Iverson had many haters and doubters in that era because of the way he looked. Baggy shorts, large t-shirts, a do-rag on his head, and chains that cost a fortune. His tattoos were all over his body. Back then, an NBA player's typical image was buttoned up, suit and tie, leather shoes, so this new fashion was out of the norm for that era. And before getting drafted, someone filed a lawsuit against him because he was mistakenly blamed for starting a fight. Good thing the NBA gives more freedom to players now on how to express themselves on and off the court. What do you think of the way the NBA players express themselves right now? Share your thoughts in the comments section below, and make sure to watch until the very end, because more players have said great things about AI. Number 2. Shaquille O'Neal. As I've mentioned earlier, Shaq faced Allen Iverson in the NBA Finals, although they destroyed the Sixers after Game 1. He proved to Shaq, the most dominant big man in that era, that AI doesn't back down. On the show Open Court, Ernie asked Shaq who was his best starting 5. Of course, he had himself, Kobe, LeBron, Duncan, and when it was time for the point guard, he thought about it and said Allen Iverson. Here's what he had to say. I have to go with AI because he was fearless. My thing was any little guy that came in the paint, I'ma touch him up, burn him, lay him to the floor. But he was the only one, besides Gary Payton, he was the only one who just kept coming back. In the year that they made the finals and got killed by us, he did everything that year. Shaq is such a character. After giving props to Allen Iverson, he had to say, got killed by us. Although he said that, you could tell that he had nothing but respect for AI from that point on. Number 3. Chauncey Billups. Chauncey was traded for Allen Iverson in the Denver and Detroit deal. He knows what it was like playing against AI because he was a draft class ahead of him, so they had many battles. Chauncey was asked in a show on ESPN on who was the player that he hated to play against. With no hesitation, he said AI, and here's what he had to say. AI was mine. I loved playing against him, and it's not like I didn't want to face somebody. Knowing that it was going to be an uphill battle, I always had a tough time with little, speedy guys, and as you can see right there, he got by me pretty easily. He was just fearless. He never let up. He was a warrior. You couldn't bully him. I could bully a lot of guys, but him I couldn't. AI was my guy, for sure. Again, the word fearless is given to him by his peers. Despite his slight frame, you're not stopping Allen Iverson from scoring the basketball. Number 4. Kobe Bryant. Kobe, similar to AI, is one of the most fearless and ruthless players in NBA history. They had a lot of great battles, from AI scoring 32 points with 9 steals, while Kobe had 44 points. And Game 2 of the 2001 Finals, where AI smoked Kobe with 48 points, but he fell short despite only scoring 15 points. During the 2016 All-Star Game in Toronto, he was asked what he thought about the Hall of Fame inductees. Here's what he had to say. Shaq is close to me on a more personal level, being teammates for so many years and winning 3 championships. While AI is a competitor, he drove me to be as obsessive about the game because I had to figure out how to solve AI. I told him this weekend, you don't realize how much you push me, and I don't think people nowadays know how great you were as a player and how big of a problem you were for defenses. I'm happy for them both. Yes, he was a problem for the Mamba. Kobe even said in an article for the Players Tribune he would study sharks just to guard AI. Number 5. Kevin Johnson. You may know KJ from the 90s Suns with Charles Barkley. His game was somewhat similar to AI, but he knew when Father Time was creeping in, and he had to guard him. It was time to retire. Here's what he had to say on the night they got nominated into the Hall of Fame. I felt very excited until Allen Iverson was nominated. This is the honest-to-God truth, and I retired because of this guy. He came down and gave me his patented crossover move. I tried defending to no avail, and he tapped me on the butt. I knew then and there it was time to retire. That's okay, KJ. You're not the only one who got embarrassed by Allen Iverson's signature crossover move. Ask MJ the time he got schooled by the kid in his rookie year. AI didn't win a championship, but he inspired a lot of people from his play. It's safe to say there will never be another Allen Iverson. Now you know what legends and players are saying about how impressive prime AI was. What are your thoughts about these players' opinions about him? Where would you rank Allen Iverson as one of the greatest players to ever play this game? Tell us what you think in the comments down below. And once again, make sure to leave a like on this video and hit that subscribe button to watch out for the best NBA content. If you like this video, be sure to check out my other video where NBA players talk about how insanely good MVP prime Derrick Rose was. Thank you for watching.